Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry that I could not join you in person today, but I wanted to send a message of support for the third international meeting of the Global Action Against Mass Atrocity. The Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, of which I am the Secretary General, puts a strong emphasis on prevention. Indeed, prevention is at the heart of the OEC's mandate and activities. As a regional arrangement of the United Nations, we are trying to do our part to save future generations from the scourge of war and from preventing the types of atrocities that have scarred Europe in the past. Too often, the engagement of the international community comes late, after a crisis has erupted, sending in peacekeepers, investigating a massacre, or reacting to large flows of people on the move. At the OEC, we believe, as the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Early warning and early action can reduce the risk of violent conflict and prevent a disaster or atrocity. How do we do this? We have institutions with clear preventive mandates and more than 2 decades of practical experience. A good example is the OEC High Commissioner on National Minorities. His job is to become involved at an early stage where he sees signs of interethnic tensions. Through his recommendations, he tries to de-escalate tensions and to strengthen local legislation and institutions to promote more integrated societies. The OEC representative on freedom of the media takes action to prevent hate speech and incitement to violence, and holds to account those who do. The OEC also has field activities that prevent conflict and build peace. For example, in eastern Ukraine, we have close to 800 civilian observers on the ground monitoring the situation, including reporting on human rights. So, as you can see, we take preventive steps at a regional level. But there is more that can and must be done, particularly to reduce vulnerability to ethnic cleansing, genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. You could call it upstream prevention. After all, it is worth recalling that the first pillar of the responsibility to protect is the responsibility to prevent. Inclusive and representative societies are more resilient to dealing with the kinds of issues that, if neglected, can, in the worst-case scenario, lead to atrocities. That is one reason why the OEC, particularly the Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights, works to protect and promote human rights, fundamental freedoms, and the right of persons belonging to national minorities. And that is why we support effective governance based on the rule of law. These are essential elements for sustaining peace and development. I encourage you all to further explore and develop the preventive potential of human rights instruments. I should stress that in the OEC, we take a cooperative approach. Governments hold each other to account for the commitments that they have made and work with each other to ensure implementation. Institutions explain to their interlocutors the importance and self-interest of taking steps to promote more peaceful and cohesive societies. After all, we need to better explain and imagine what we are trying to achieve, not only what we are trying to prevent. I encourage you to take a look at our experience, our institutions of prevention, and our approach. And we hope to benefit from your work. Together, let us prioritize prevention. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a successful meeting.